Boom. Right? I can see me.
There you are.
I can see you now.
The Bills, dude. He's got the Bills on. No.
I'm a hardcore fan.
I like it.
Where are you guys at?
We're in Florida. I'm a Dolphins fan. That's why I had to say that. He's like, interview's over, bro.
Man, what a good draft this weekend, huh, for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's about to be an eventful season, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm worried about Greg Newsome over there in Cleveland now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're about to see. But you never know how it's going to play out. Someone could get hurt or something. You know what I mean?
Woo. All right, man. 2021 football season, we're going to go.
Yeah, dog.
But I would love to hear about your guys' art. I've been listening to Lydia Can't Breathe for, I just put it into my playlist and been listening to it. Love the project. Tell me a little bit about it.
I mean, basically we've been together for about 15, 16 years. You know what I mean? We weren't that serious. I want to say for the first, I want to say like 3 or 4 years, we were just kind of like, kids just goofing off. I always wanted to play music, but it was like, we weren't really taking it serious, I guess, even if we thought we were. Yeah. And then we kind of, evolved after that. That's about when Shad came into the picture. He wasn't a part of the original, what we would call the loser lineup, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Shad came in when we all started being winners,
We hit the road for the first time, and what was it, the Astro van?
Astro van, bro. And it was like
Astro van.
It was like sunk to the ground. It could barely hold the trailer up, and we were just like, it's cool. Like, we're going on tour. Like, we got this.
We had to get towed up a mountain, and where was that? Was it North Carolina?
Yeah, it was right outside the Smoky Mountains. Yeah, I want to say Smoky Mountains or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, good times. Not really. That was a terrible tour.
Oh my God, Burn Stitch. That's what he was with Jeff. Jeff's the one
that's right.
Up there. Yeah. But I want to say shortly after we picked up Shad, we had gotten our drummer Josh, and then we had like a core lineup back then. That was like 2010 or 11, I want to say. And then ever since then, we've been at it pretty heavy. We got 3 albums under our belt, and right now we're working on just dropping a bunch of singles. But we do have 15 songs that are tracked and recorded that we just did over at the Audio Compound with Andrew Karpovic. Is that how you say his name, Shad? Is that right?
Andy Karpovic, yeah.
And then Andrew Wade. Yeah. So, and that's what you've the most recent stuff, Ups and Downs and Sheep, came from that. And I feel like we're even evolving more at this point. I feel like we're getting better as writers, and we've been playing together now for so long that we're hitting better material more consistently than what we ever have before.
What do you think of the hardest, obstacle to overcome while in a band, with the creative end?
What you mean, like trying to be different than everybody else, like in a nutshell, or?
I was thinking more of like, you explained like, taking it serious, and then, because we all do that as artists, we at first we think we're taking it serious, but we're really not. And then, so to mix both those worlds together, what is the most difficult thing?
I mean, it's just time. I want to say the amount of time you can put into it when, at first you just kind of, I feel like you do it at your leisure and when it makes you happy. But if you want to make a career out of it, it's kind of like a job. Like, even if you don't want to go, you gotta draw today. You gotta write music today, even if you're not feeling it, even if you got a headache. If you're not going to do something for the team today, you are not going to win this game that you're playing, because there's some other guy that's waking up and he's grinding, you know what I mean? No matter what the circumstances are. And at first, I think everybody just is kind of like, yeah, it's Sunday. I got a couple hours. I'm going to go ahead and write some music. You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't have a deadline, so it doesn't matter. You don't have any producer judging it. So no matter what comes out, like, you're just happy with it. You know what I mean? You don't have as much responsibility or weight on your shoulders. And it changes your passion and what you love almost into like a job. And if you're not ready for that, then it's not a good career choice, because I've seen it ruin the best of people to where they don't even want to pick up a guitar anymore or do anything anymore, because they never were able to make money to do it. So they just had to keep going back to their day-to-day job, and they, you know what I mean? They could never get nowhere with it. So I think that that's the biggest obstacle for me personally, because I mean, I started, I just wanted to like smoke weed and play guitar every once in a while and be like, yeah, dude, that shit's vibing, you know what I mean? But now it's like, I gotta, you know, write stuff every day, no matter how I'm feeling, you know what I mean? It's not just a vibe. It's like, we have to keep, you know, making new material and hoping that we get that song that goes, you know, gold or platinum. And that way we can, you know, make money and do this as a career, basically.
Do you feel it's hard when you are creating and you're trying to cross that bridge from a gig, you know, just having fun, to professionalism, or you know, the big boys and play with them? Is it hard when people are criticizing your shit?
I mean, it pisses me off. I know it pisses Shad off. Like, yeah, for sure. Because it's like half those people that are haters, that, yeah, they don't even try. You know what I mean? But I used to be a hater myself. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know what I mean? But I also, if I see somebody like, you know, getting success that I don't think deserves it or something like that, I kind of look at like their path and everything they've been doing. And I'm like, you know, you really look like, hey, how long have they been around? Do they have a bunch of videos? Are they really trying, or did they just get lucky, or do they got a rich uncle, or what's going on here? Like it. And I think once you've been in the industry long enough, you can kind of see who the real ones are. You know what I mean? Compared to, you know, who's just a bystander, who's just, you know, still kind of just doing it because they have somebody paying their way, or, you know what I mean? They're not, the stress isn't there, I guess you would say. You know what I mean?
And also the critique from, you know, the people that you're working with, producers, or you know, that line. Do you guys ever encounter that?
Oh yeah. For the basically, yeah, for the songs that we've just written, that's the first time we ever put it through a producer's hands. And he would tell us like, yo, these parts, I don't like them. I want you to go rewrite them. And that's like a tough pill to swallow sometimes when you've been working on a song and everyone in the band agrees that it's going the way you want it to go. And then you bring it to a producer and he's like, yo, this part kind of sucks. We need to change it. Like Andy's like, Andy and Andrew were both like very, they won't bullshit you basically. I don't think, like, you know what I mean? Like if they think that something's not going to do good in the industry or sell or something like that, they kind of, they diss on it, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you can't swallow that, that's just like, I feel like an average job, like you're not going to get better at your job if you're not going to listen to somebody, and they have more success than us. So it's not like I'm listening. The guy that posts on the internet and tells me I suck, and then he works like, you know, some crappy job and knows nothing about the music industry. Like, I don't respect him, but Andrew Wade has platinum and gold records. So it's kind of like taking advice from somebody you respect, but I wouldn't take advice from someone I don't respect. You know what I mean?
Shad, what about you?
Well, for me, I guess creatively, it's yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, and we do it in the band before we ever have taken anything to a producer. So like you get the scrutiny from the band. You know, a lot of the riffs that I write, like I have to explain them to the guys. We have to work on them. Then I'm, you know, so for me, I have that process every time we write one of my songs or we work on one of my songs. I I don't know. I think a little bit differently than the other guys in the band. Everyone has their own flavor, but I mean, so I go through that with the band, and then I go through that again with the producer. And some of my songs that we brought to the table, like we really didn't touch anything musically. We just kind of took it as it was. And some of them we completely chopped up, and we've kept maybe one riff or two riffs. You know, it just depends. It's not easy, but I mean, you just roll with it. I think that's another part of like growing up as an artist, from going from the garage band and playing, you know, whatever riff you want or whatever style you want. Hey, let's do something, you know, off the wall and crazy. I love that stuff. That's like, as a musician, I live for those moments that are just crazy and how did this happen kind of moments. But the general listening audience, not really as into that kind of thing. So to try and cater the art to reach more people, I think that's kind of a challenge. Something that we haven't worried about in the past that we're, you know, taking more time to consider these days. Because of course, I mean, we want to broaden our audience, broaden our fan base. You know, I think we've got a good style. It's unique enough that we can you know, appeal to a new fan base, like, you know, grab new fans from a bunch of different areas. But we have to write with that in mind in order to really get any further. So it's harder, but it's also better. It's a challenge to be able to do something more than what, you know, just your own certain perspective, your own take on things are. So it's been a challenge. It's been good though. I feel like it's helped us grow, me as a writer, and I feel like it's helped us grow as a band as well.
All right.
Yeah, we definitely work better together now. I feel like we've all, since we've gotten yelled at or told that we suck from someone different than our
It used to be just us telling each other we suck. Now there's other people. They're like, hey, by the way, you all suck.
This all sucks. Yeah.
Hey,
No,
man.
it's not quite like that, but it is. But it's
No,
not.
it definitely, you know, it's that growing pains when you finish and accomplish something and you're like, here you go. And it's like, nah. It's like, oh my God. It hurts so much because you put so much of
Yeah.
who you are into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Just a side note. I started to get gray hair, but I use gel, you know. And my hair, the whites in my hair have started to turn the color of your beard.
Oh yeah.
Because of my gel. Like I'm not even playing. Have you guys seen this gel before?
No.
It's like
What does it
yellow.
say?
Hold on, let me get some out.
It looks like an as seen on TV car wax.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
doesn't look like you should be putting that in your hair, man.
It's like, why is it green? It's like, that's car wax, bro.
All right. So, what is your favorite song on the new album? I know the new album's not going to come, but there's no date for it. But I know you've been working on it, so I was just curious, what has been your favorite song from the album?
I mean, I personally, I dig Ups and Downs, the first one we released, but I mean, I'm biased. I wrote it about my daughter. And then I kind of, you know, wrote the main guitar riffs. So I was just like, oh, this is my jam. But there's a bunch of them that the producer has right now. We only have 5 that are given back to us, and they're all recorded. So it's hard for me to choose one out of the 15 just because I haven't heard them at their full production. Even though if we recorded them and did all that, there's a couple that like Electric Powder is a good one, and then there's another one. I can't even remember some of the names of the songs. This dude's been working on them since November. Like, you know what I mean? We're just
now.
like,
Sick Now
yeah,
is one
Sick Now. Yeah.
Tell me the story about Ups and Downs.
I mean, basically in a nutshell, I mean, I wrote the song 3 years ago. That's what's funny. We recorded it probably like 2.5 years ago, I want to say, Shad. Yeah.
About right.
And we were gonna drop it the year of COVID, but then COVID happened. So we kind of took a step back and we just kept recording songs. And we were like, oh, I don't want to release nothing if we're not going to be touring. Like, what should we do? But it was right when I had my daughter. She's 3 now. And it kind of gave me a new perspective on life. I'm like a morbid weirdo, like pothead / I could give a fuck about anything type person. So it was like, it kind of brought me into realizing, I think, the greater reason of us being here. And it wasn't just directed towards my daughter. It was like looking at her and seeing that there's going to be a future evolution of us, you know what I mean? And I'm just like thinking like whatever we do is going to pave the road for these next people. And it's kind of like life in general is like how you handle the ups and downs, like, because there's going to be high points and there's going to be low points. And I was like super freaked out thinking I was never going to get to play music again. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh man, I'm going to have a kid. I'm going to have to quit. Like, I'm going to have to, you know what I mean? Stay home and be able to do all this stuff. And my chick was like super cool about it. And we never stopped touring. Like right after she was born, we pretty much toured. You know what I mean? And it gave me that perspective. That's when I started writing the song when we were doing those first couple tours. And it just means a lot to me. And then I feel like the message itself in it, anyone can relate to, because I don't know anybody who's just having ups in their life. And I don't know anyone who's having downs. But I do believe that there's certain people that are always happy no matter what. And even when they maybe should be a little, you know, sad, but that's how they handle their life. And then there's people that are just complaining about everything left and right, even though, you know, stuff isn't that bad. And that's where the phrase, you know, ups and downs happens. You know what I mean? And it's been in our society forever. It's not like I'm the first one to ever say that. It was just how it came across, you know, in the song. And it was a good chorus, you know, line. So that's what I went with the name, you know.
Oh. What's up, Shad? What about you?
Well, I have to kind of say I like Ups and Downs the most out of the two that we've released. I'm kind of biased because Sheep is one that I wrote the music for. And but I don't know, I was just kind of proud of Kyle, actually. Like I've been, like he said, I've been with the band for a while. And it was just the lyrics of the song. I was kind of like, you know, this is really relatable. I know what he was writing about, but it applied to me too. And I think that's, you know, that's a big step forward. Like it's not that Kyle hasn't written relatable topics before. I mean,
yeah, everyone smokes weed. Everyone smokes
weed. We all smoke weed. So like we got all those weed songs. Of course I understand that. But no, I felt like that was like, it was really a genuine song. So I was kind of proud of Kyle and like his lyrics on that. That being said, I also kind of right there, same for me as Sheep, the second one we released. But once again, that's because I wrote the music on that, and I really like the message and the lyrics on that one too. So I'm kind of stuck between the two that we've already released. But I'm with Kyle. I can't wait to hear like the final production of all the newer stuff that we have coming up. But out of the 5 that we have in hand, I would say those are definitely my top 2.
Talk me through the new single you guys have.
Sheep is the one that, Sheep's the one we just dropped, basically. And that's the one where Shad wrote like pretty much the body of music. And he brought it to practice, and it was actually a little heavier. And then I was like, hey, you know, can you write a chorus or, you know, something? Let's do something to where, you know, it still has like some commercial appeal. And then he went home, and I want to say it was like the next practice, he came back and he had like, it's like literally one of the best choruses I think we've ever written. So I was like, yo, this is what I was looking for. You know what I mean? This is perfect. And then we kind of self-produced it and played it for, I want to say, like almost 6 months to a year. And then we brung that one to Andrew and Andy, and they didn't touch it really. They just kind of, during the breakdown, I was a little more wordy, and the guy was like, yo, like, just try to hold out your screams and don't say like 57 words, just say like 20 or something. You know what I mean? Like, so that was like the only real big change I think we did, off of my recollection anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, they kept all the parts on that. I was really happy about that, because I really liked the breakdown. It's a very riffy song, so anytime that I can squeak by some riffiness into one of our songs, I'm stoked on it. So
I love the breakdown. The breakdown's probably the best breakdown we've ever had, for sure. Like, it's ridiculous.
I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
What's the meaning behind that song?
What's that?
What's the meaning behind that song?
Oh, that's you, Kyle.
Basically it's about how everyone's kind of like following society through social media and stuff, and they're not thinking for themselves. They're having like the media push them into certain directions. And we have a lot of conversations and stuff about that, like at practice. And like Shad's super political, and probably more political than I am. But I basically was like, yo, man, like everybody's just like kind of following each other like sheeps, like, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know what I mean, the only way that anything is, you know, gonna change throughout our society is if like, not me, like not Shad, but everyone personally looks inside themselves and realizes like what they're doing wrong, instead of blaming everything, you know, on everybody else, or following what their phones and the TVs and what, you know, general public is trying to teach them. And it's kind of about like not conforming, not becoming a sheep, you know what I mean? Like being who you are, no matter what other people are telling you, because you know that it's right for you, and hopefully it's for the greater good. But that was like my message in it, basically.
Yeah, a lot of like true rock starism is done, because it seems like everybody who is a rock star now is just, they're just gonna go with the flow. They don't want no problems. They're not gonna question nothing. Whatever the mainstream media says, that's what the mainstream, that's gospel.
Yeah, well, they can't afford to push those envelopes probably anymore either, because that could shut a bunch of doors to them. But with us, like sometimes that's how you kick a door open. You know what I'm saying? You do something like that, and then once the door's open, everyone's like, yo, hey, we got some money invested behind you. If you could just like tone it down a little bit, like that would be much appreciated. But right now, no one's really telling us what to do. You know what I mean?
Because I remember like growing up, we, you know, Eminem, Howard Stern, like these people who are anti-establishment, they didn't give a fuck, and that's how they made that's how they became famous. But
they stood out.
But now both those people are just towing the line.
Yeah. That's weird. Like success changes a band, and it can do one of two things. I think it can change them to where they become complacent and kind of, you know, they kind of lose that spark, because, you know, everything just kind of falls in line, and they've got that one formula that they keep reapplying, and that's what they do. And then there's the bands that just kind of just rocket launch, and they can do their own thing, and they're the trendsetters, and they're the ones that everyone's, you know, looking at and trying to emulate. So I think if you really look at like the way the music industry is going, it's almost like you have to be in this music mafia. You have to be in this like inner circle to be anything other than, you know, just outside of a garage. It's hard to get to the next levels. You know, every time you reach that plateau, you just have to grind and push and figure out the way to the next plateau, you know. But you know, it's not easy, but if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100.
it's nervous. It makes me nervous too. Like anytime I say anything or do anything, like, oh shit, it's cancellation time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, someone's gonna come complain or some shit, or you're just like, dude, what? Yeah, you're like, I didn't know I offended a whole group of fucking people that I didn't even know existed. It's like,
So I have like a talk radio show or whatever and a podcast, and I just got fucking ran through the ringer a couple weeks back for, you know, I'm sure you read on social media how there's a people in the WNBA are saying that there's a big difference between in pays from NBA and WNBA. But my point on the topic was it's a partner sharing. NBA, NFL is partner sharing. So as soon as you get money, it's spread out through the teams, and you're allowed to spend so much on cap space. You know,
yeah,
and so if you're not bringing money in, where do you expect to get the billions of dollars that these NBA players?
yeah. Not as many people are watching the other program. They're not watching the WNBA like they're watching the NBA. There's no way.
Yeah, and it's boring.
Yeah,
Like if it wasn't boring, I mean, the ratings would
more people would be watching it.
Exactly. The conversation wouldn't be happening. So yeah, I'm with you.
well, I mean, it's probably a budget thing too. It's all the size of the beast. There's not as much as much umph behind it. They're not pushing it as hard because there's not as much of a take on it. So the hype that NBA gets versus WNBA, I mean, we know from being in a band, advertising is a huge part, and like the bigger your budget, the more people are going to see it, the more people are going to care, and the people that come out of the woodworks to care about it, they have to hear something 12 times before it even registers with them. So I mean, it's ridiculous. We're ridiculous creatures that we have to be told something 5 or 6 times before it clicks with us.
Yeah.
Even with the NFL, so the NFL just got this. They just got a new deal with the broadcasting in the NFLPA, and it included Amazon. Well, now it's expected they are almost doubling their revenue because of the new deal. And so what that means for free agency and free agency spending is you're going to have more of a piece of pie, and each team's going to have more piece, and you'll have more to spend.
Yeah, I think they're playing an extra game this year too, or something. Yes. I heard, right? Or something like that.
Yes, they are 17 games now.
Yeah, first time in history.
So yeah, but I stood by all my facts. I mean, it wasn't emotional at all. It was all facts. And and that's another thing. People in modern day society, they don't want to hear facts. They don't want to hear it. It's not that they don't believe it. It's that they just want to believe what they believe in because it makes their world better for them.
It's comfortable. It's comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right.
Do your thing. I was gonna smoke a J. Can I smoke a J while we do this? Yeah, we're doing it. I like it.
Now, if I wasn't at work, I'd be smoking one too.
I am at work. This is how I gotta work. You know what I'm saying? This is it.
How did you come up with the name?
Oh my God, this is a big part of it. Yeah. So I was tripping nuts.
On what?
With acid and I think mushrooms. And I was hanging out with my old guitar player, and we had to think of the band name. We had a show. Like that weekend, we had a show. We were called the Fat Damn Mafia. And I was like, yo, bro, this is not like, we're not going to keep this name. Like, we got to have a fucking name. So I was like, we're just going to get wasted, and we're going to watch a bunch of movies tonight. And then we'll think of something like spiritual. Like, you know what I mean? We're like, oh, we'll think of something to basically. So we started watching Beetlejuice. And you know how the little houses come in, right? Like at the beginning, and we couldn't handle it. So we're both just laughing so hard, like hysterically. And then the the kid, his name was Dan. He's like, dude, I can't breathe. Like, and you know what I mean? He started like psychologically believing it. So he started like hyperventilating and freaking out. And I was like, no, chill out, man. I was like, Lydia can't breathe. Cause that's Winona Ryder's character. Like, you know what I mean? In the movie. And I was like, look, dude, she's like the outcast, dude. I'm telling you, this is it. This is the name, bro. This is what we're going to do. And he was just like, all right. And then like he calmed down, and then that was the name. And then and the search engines, like the optimization and everything, like it like comes up bar none. Like you don't even have to try to find us. You know what I mean? So we kind of just rolled with it. But yeah, Beetlejuice and drugs is the answer to that question.
That's a cool name too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were definitely smoking too, for sure.
All right. And my last question is, if someone came up to you off the street, they didn't know, how would you explain who is Lydia Can't Breathe to them?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like if they took that one strand and then that other strand, and then those strands had a baby, and then they fucked. No, I don't know. It's like a bunch of ridiculousness and funniness mixed in with some politics and seriousness, and then shooken up and spit out. You know what I mean? Everything we're singing about is true, but it could be crazy or it could actually make sense. But it probably happened to someone in the band or someone we know or something like that. We don't write songs about like fairy tales.
Fucking A. If there's anything else you guys would like to put in the article,
check us out, www.lydiacantbreathe.com. You know what I mean? If you could tell, you know, all your viewers and everything, you know, just come check us out. Only smoke good weed, everybody, and love your mom. That's what you should do.
Awesome, dude. We're actually gonna put this in our magazine. We have a magazine, so
cool.
No
awesome.
Do I have one right here? Yes, I do.
No Cover magazine. I like the cover, dude.
This was December. It's one of the ones I'm saving.
Ironically.
My
I like the ones with hot chicks on them. I saved them.
All right, dude. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you.
And good luck with it, bro.
Dolphins all the way. Dolphins all the way, bro. No.
Hey, well, you guys have to do a problem first.
I know.
Hey, Waddle's awesome. Jalen Waddle.
For sure.
That guy's he's on.
I would take Josh Allen over both of them though, just so you know. Like Josh Allen's pretty good, dude.
Man, Josh Allen's the man.
He's a beast.
I was worried about him at first, but
yeah, he sucked the first couple of years, but he got his shit together last year.
Yeah, and he did this. He got sent to this camp, right? And they register your mechanics, so all the CGI, and they'll tell you what percent of your arm you're using, what percent of your hips. You know, it needs to be 70, 75, and then 25, and then 100. That's the measurement. So 75 on the back. No, 100 foot, 75, 25 on the front foot, 75 on the back, all the way through. I'm a football coach, so I knew about this stuff when they were talking about it. Well, he was doing none of that right. It was 0%, all 100% arm. He wasn't using his body. And so
that's why he's fucking killing it now.
Yeah. And this last year when he went to that, it was like, oh, you need to work on this. So they went back in 2 months, and it was he can throw a ball further, like 30% or 50% further than he did before.
Wow. That's crazy.
Dude, he was bombing them last year. Every time I watched him play, I was just like, fucking hate the Bills right now. This is crazy.
And well, let's see what happens this year. And
yeah,
I just want one Super Bowl before I die. That's it.
No, I feel you. Me too, dude.
I grew up in Dallas or outside of Dallas. So
God.
like the Cowboys throughout the 90s, like
Yeah, they already did it for you.
smacked them down. No, but like they played the
Yeah,
Bills
that's-
like 2 or 3 times in the 90s.
The Super Bowl.
Dallas won every time, man.
Twice in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was the team though for Dallas. That was the 90s. Haven't done shit since.
Nah, definitely not.
Oh.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
All right, man. I
All right,
appreciate you,
Tim,
bro.
Thank you, man.
Kyle,
Appreciate
have a
it.
good one, man. We love you.
All right, love you, man. Take it
Mhm.
easy. All right. Bye.